Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the last day of the Practice Parents Conference 2021. My name is Vivian Annie and I'm the founder of the Practice Parents Academy and the creator of the Bequeathing Academy. Sorry, people, our network, we don't have power over network. So our network booted us out and then we are here again. So I was introducing the speaker of today in the person of Professor Ituma. And Prof will be sharing with us on how to bequeath legacy for the next generation. Before he comes in, we'll be sharing a bit about Professor Ituma. Professor E.A. Ituma is the former head of Department of Religion and Cultural Studies, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. As a professor of religion, he has published 55 journal articles. He's the editor-in-chief of 3 international impact factor journals. He has supervised 7 PhDs, 25 masters, 65 bachelor degrees, and 200 diplomas. He is a member of American Association for the Scientific Study of Religion. He is also a member of Society for Biblical Literature. He's also a member British Association of Sociology of Religion, member New York Academy of Science, distinguished fellow, Society for Research and Academic Excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in this platform, Professor E.A. Ituma.
Well, thank you,
Welcome,
Vivian.
sir.
I'm quite happy. Yeah, I'm very, very happy to see your face once more. And for the program, you are doing a very good work.
Thank
and
you,
we are
sir.
quite happy. You are impacting on the society. What you are organizing, I can assure you, we will outlive you. Well,
Thank you,
because
sir.
the entire thing is how to lay a very positive legacy. And so when we stream what you have packaged, you realize that you will be our generation will be better informed, and if our generation is better informed, we will eventually bequeath a positive legacy. So thank you, and without wasting time, I traveled. I'm at home now, so I just pray that the network will be that
Okay.
the network will be
Okay.
friendly. But all the same,
Okay.
I
We are
hope you
leaving the
can hear
stage
me.
from you. Yes, we can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear. We are leaving the stage for you. You can go ahead, sir.
It's all right. So thank you so much. This morning I've actually been requested to reflect alongside with all of us on the topic bequeathing a positive legacy to the next generation. Bequeathing a positive legacy to the next generation. You see, when you talk about next generation, you are mainly talking about your children, and your great grandchildren, and so on. And it begins today. I've always had this saying, and I have emphasized it wherever I find myself, and including in the class when I teach students. I've always told them, leave the environment better than you met it, because your impact is an aggregate of all the segmented impacts. Your impact in your generation, your legacy is an aggregate of all the legacies that you have left in various points where you find yourself. There is no good parent that wouldn't want the family name or lineage to be sustained, especially for those of us who are Africans. Africans are usually very conscious of their children because it is to the children they pass the family tradition to the generations that will come. So the children are very, very, very important to the African, and including other parts of the world. The children are very important. So if you are going to bequeath a positive legacy to the next generation, then you should talk about children. And let me also inform us that when you talk about your children, you are also considering the environment wherever you find yourself. As a teacher, I have the students as my children. Whatever I pass on to the students is what I'm leaving as a legacy to the next generation. As an administrator, wherever you find yourself, whatever you leave behind to your junior ones, to your colleagues, will determine what they will pass on to whoever they will meet on across the road. So you have to be very important. Well, it's in Africa, when we talk about parents, it's true that in Africa, when we talk about parents, we go beyond father and mother. We include the kinsmen, we include the society itself. But for simplicity, for the purposes of this program, I want to limit our definition of parents here to basically father and mother, so that we wouldn't have too much definitions and too many complex ideas and positions to try and present. Let's try and make this as simple as possible so that everybody along the street will try as much as possible to carry everybody along the street along. Whether you are educated in your own way or not educated in some other people's ways and all those things, everybody needs to be carried along. And that is why I'm trying to ensure that simplicity will guide some of the things that the concept that I will present. When you talk about the parents at this moment, remember I started by including teachers and wherever you find yourselves. Well, I still came back to say that your parents as Africans, I'm going to give it a very good focus. Now, I've also said parents are father and mother. And I want to say that the roles of a father and the roles of a mother are very, very, very critical. Very, very critical to bequeathing a positive legacy to the next generation. And when you talk about the roles of parents, please, you must understand that there are two basic concepts that define the roles of parents. Two basic concepts that define the roles of parents, wherever you find yourself in the world. Number one is culture. Number two is nature. So you see, nature, number one, culture, number two. We're going to take nature as a number one determinant of the role of parents. Why I try to put these two, if you need to look at the ramifications or the extent of definition of these two, you will be well at home with the conclusion that these two concepts incorporate whatever you want to think as a determinant. These two. So, for example, nature will usually defines the father, who the father is, or fatherhood. You talk about manliness. You talk about masculine dispositions available to bequeath a legacy. As a father, the nature has already put inside every father some form of manliness, some form of masculine disposition required to bequeath a positive legacy on the next generation. Just as nature has put in place certain dispositions on the man as a father, nature has also put certain dispositions on the woman and what you call motherhood. Feminine dispositions available to bequeath a healthy legacy. So when you talk about fatherhood, you are talking about masculine dispositions available to bequeath a positive legacy. And when you talk about motherhood, you are talking about feminine dispositions available to bequeath a healthy legacy. Is there in every man? Is there in every woman? Nature has defined what you have to do. Your contribution to your children, your contribution to other people's children, your contribution to the society as a father. Nature has defined what you are supposed to contribute as a mother. Now let's go to culture. Culture, every society is sustained by culture. Remember I said number 2 point is culture. Every society is sustained by culture. There are some cultures that are very religious. There are some that are not religious. And let me also tell us that every religion is a product of a culture. There is no single religion in the world that is not a product of culture. If you want to understand Christianity, for example, very well, you must go to the culture that produced it. And the culture that produced it includes the Greco-Roman War, Judo-Greco-Roman War. Judaism brought into place Christianity alongside the Greco-Roman world. The language of the New Testament, for example, is Greek. That of the Old Testament is Hebrew. You cannot interpret the New Testament better without understanding the language that produced it. And the language is a basic core of culture. The way the people then dressed. When say you should dress like this, you have to go back to the way the people dressed before you'll be able to now contextualize it. You have to look at what they call food and so on. If, for example, the bread of life, you must understand what bread is to the Jew. It's not the way some of us interpret the Bible can be very funny today. You must understand the culture that produced Christianity before you can understand the holy rites of Christianity. The same applies to Islam. You must understand the Saudi Arabia. You must understand the culture of that part of the world that produced Islam. Otherwise, you can't get it. And so that's the mistake. Many interpreters of some of this. If you want to understand Africa, you must understand the African traditional dispositions. To understand the culture of Africa, you must understand the worldview of the typical African. Anyway, now if you go to nations that do not believe in religion, their culture, you must understand their culture. Their culture is there that defines how they behave, how a man should relate with a man, how a man should relate with a woman, how a man should relate with a woman, and how a woman should relate with a man, how the children. So that is what we mean by culture. I decided to take this culture in a broad sense so that people understand. Otherwise, if you merely jump to religion, you will create unnecessary hiccups which will not really help. Because religion itself is inside culture. Even education itself is inside culture. Education is inside culture. So whatever you can talk about, of course, you should know that education itself is an effort to integrate a personality into the society, into the culture of society. That's what education is. In the simplest terms. So culture includes how the society decides the behavior of the male and that of the females. I have tried to define and explain all this thing. So if you want to bequeath a positive legacy, you must do what the culture wants you to do as a man. You must do what the culture requires you to do as a woman. And so please, let us note, I have emphasized these two driving ideas. I've emphasized it, and I want you to carry that along. That controls the roles. These control the role of parents. I said, number one, nature, and number two, culture. And I've tried to explain that. Then role. We've looked at the determinants of the determinants of the roles of the parents. Now we're going to look at now the roads leading to this legacy. The road leading to this legacy, the putting legacy requires number one, moral values. Number two, economic values. I have talked about the determinants of the roles. Now I'm looking at the roles leading to this. If we are going to bequeath a positive legacy on the generation. Remember, I've emphasized children and the people that we come in contact with. And then I said there are two basic roads that lead to it. Once these roads are clearly carried along, and you follow this road, these two roads, they're also wide. There's no reason why we shouldn't bequeath a positive legacy on our children, on the next generation. And of course, this road will also define what actually this legacy should be. Number one is moral value. Moral value is very important. Very, 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 very important. Moral value. There is no religion that does not respect honesty as a moral value. And when you get into religions, you are looking at spiritual dispositions, and you are also looking at sanctity of life. And so when we are talking about moral values, I am looking at honesty as a primary moral value. I'm looking at spiritual disposition as a primary moral value. And I'm looking at sanctity of life as a primary moral value. You see, when we talk about honesty, it carries too many things along. Because honesty begins from the heart, not from external disposition, external expressions. No. It's internal disposition. If you tell me yes and you mean yes, that's honesty. So I will be able to predict you. If I'm able to predict you, then we are on the right track to work together. And if we want to bequeath to the next generation positive legacy, we must emphasize honesty. When you go into business, teach your children that they should get into business with honesty. When they go to school, they should go to school with honesty. Whenever they interact with people, they will interact with honesty. You yourself will show that by example and by the preaching and so on. Spiritual disposition includes whatever your religion tells you that is the way you relate with God. Because religion actually helps to control human behavior. It enables you to see your limitations as far as the other human beings are concerned. What we call fundamental human rights, they are all there controlled by our spiritual disposition. Why am I saying spiritual disposition? Spiritual disposition in the sense that you see God as watching how you safeguard the other person's human right. You see, you safeguard the other person's human right, and the other person safeguards your own human right. The other person safeguards your own human right. Why would we move in peace? Why would they even be quarreling? And if we put to our children this legacy of moral value, why wouldn't tomorrow be better than today? Why wouldn't our children have a better environment? They will have a better environment. Our problem today is that we say one thing and mean another thing. You know, I read this. There are two posts I saw in online, and well, I do not know how to upload them here, but let me just explain two of them. And two of them really spoke so loudly. The first one, I saw it yesterday, where a plane crashed into a village, into a farmland. A plane crashed, and I guess he was talking about, in fact, he was talking about Nigeria. And the farmer got to the, in fact, it was by the farm, and the farmer himself was there, and what he did was to dig graves immediately, and they buried all the occupants, all the passengers, buried all of them, just as he had concluded. On the burying them, law enforcement and security out agencies and so on were able to trace the place, the crashing place point, and asking the woman, what about the passengers? I buried all of them. I said, why do you know they are? Why do you know they're all dead? He said, no. Well, that while he was burying them, many of them were still shouting, I'm still alive, I'm still alive. And you know, these are politicians, and he never believed politicians because politicians it's difficult to believe politicians. So he didn't believe that they were still alive, even when some of them were screaming and shouting, somebody also, we are still alive. The farmer said, it's difficult to believe our politicians, and he buried them alive. I know that may not have really real life happened, but it actually tells us what the politicians in Nigeria, for example, are. Say one thing, another thing, and you find politics in not just in the secular, governance, at home, in schools, at various places. We have demonized politics. Incidentally, all of us are captured, are victims of this. So until we come out from this quagmire, this position, you can't talk about you can't be talking about future generation. So we need to first, understand that sorry, well, my network went off and I had to reconnect, and I expected it because it happens. So why I brought in spiritual disposition is because you are safer when you wrap up anything with God. When you say, I'm doing this because of my spiritual convictions, it's easy for you to sustain whatever good behavior you value, you carry on. Because if you want to do something because the government says you should do it, the government will dig another language and you get confused. You say one thing and the opposite, they begin to do it. You follow them, you are finished. So whatever is good, bring God inside it and tell people that you are doing it because of God. And actually do it for God. That's why I said spiritual disposition. Otherwise, we are finished. We can't live in peace. Because the person that is preaching peace is the person that is bringing war. He's telling you one thing, and the body language is a different thing entirely. The person that is telling you, look, we want to live in peace, together in peace, is the person that is initiating war himself. So just try and preach peace because of God. And then I talked about sanctity of life. These are all three items you find in moral value. Sanctity of life. Life is very, very sacred. In every religion, life is very sacred. If we pass on, we'll be able to let our children value life, value spiritual disposition, value honesty. These three things, these three concepts, they define moral value. They define moral value. If our children, those who come in contact with, if they value honesty, spiritual disposition, sanctity of life, if you are able to press it into them, put it inside them, whichever way positive, then we can be sure that with the next generation is safe. It's going to be safe. Honesty, spiritual disposition, sanctity of life. Key moral values you find in every religion. Key moral values you find in every culture, whether it's religious culture or non-religious culture. Key moral values. We have looked at value, moral value, and number two is economic value. You see, economic value requires that every person must be able to build a visible means of livelihood. Every person must be able to build a visible means of livelihood. You see, if you don't build a visible means of livelihood, you can be sure that you are heading into trouble. You are heading into poverty. And some people say that poverty is a cause. I don't know, but they're only emphasizing how demonized poverty is. Poverty cannot be a good thing. And you see, even people are duping one another to become rich. But if you take the first item, moral values, you see that your economic value becomes meaningful. Economic value emphasizes production. Production is the master key of economy. Production is the master key of economy. You cannot stop training your children. You can't bequeath a positive legacy on the next generation until you have got your children to value production. All of us must be able to teach our children, to teach the people that we come in contact with, the value of production. We must get this summary of ideology. Let me say it. The summary of ideology is that you must produce what you consume. Consume what you produce in line with your culture. I say it again. You must produce what you consume. And consume what you produce in line with your culture. So with this, it covers religion. There are people who don't eat cow, for example, as a culture or as a religion or whatever. Or don't eat swine. It doesn't mean the other culture doesn't eat swine. It doesn't mean you can't produce for the other culture. Just obey your religion. There's no problem. Obey your culture, no problem. But it's not only, there are things you consume. Why must you go out to look for what you don't produce? Because those people who produce it, they know you need it. The same way, you are producing something which some other people need. The problem of Africa today is the problem of production. And this is also what has led us to start what we call African Summit, African Socio-Economic Liberation Movement. African Socio-Economic Liberation Movement is teaching the youths how to get into production. If every person produces, no matter how small, produce something. That is what has distinguished the white man. Everybody wants to go into government work. Is the government going to produce the work you are going to do? Government cannot give you. Government cannot employ everybody. Government cannot employ everybody. And that is why the politicians are die hard. They go into their politics. They do everything to go to politics. Because that is the surviving industry today. If everybody begins to produce, people no longer emphasis on politics. If your children are graduating from the university, they go to shoe production. Shoe, you don't make shoe production for shoemaker. They go into sewing dresses. They make better dresses. They make better clothes. They produce better shoes because they have a sense of value. Because the two of them value, they work together, they're integrated. And when we begin to produce, the entire world becomes a safer place. But when you produce and everybody consume, and so much depend on this, it becomes a big problem. So if we are able to, pass on to our children the concept of economic value, then you can be sure that the next generation is going to have a positive legacy. The positive legacy is simply a legacy where moral value is highly given a very high, the highest position, as well as economic value. Once the moral value and economic value are given high position, then you would have, once your children have taken this, have imbibed this, the students you teach, the people you come in contact with, once they have imbibed this concept of moral value and economic value, we are good to go. And remember, I've also told you that if you are looking at moral value and education value, you must remember the roles of parents. Remember the roles of parents to get into this moral value and economic value. And remember, I said something about the roles, about what determines the roles of these parents. And remember, I talked about nature and culture. Now, let me also go back and say a little more about nature. You want to pass a positive legacy on the next generation. If the man, and let me give you the role of nature. If a man, for example, is very erratic, and you can be sure that some of the children will, by genetic transmission, be very erratic. It's just there. They can either share from the man or share from their mother or share from both of them. And if you know that you have a lifestyle which is bad, which is not acceptable in the society, and you have made efforts couldn't change yourself, please, for God's sake, anyhow you can change your children who are already having such traits. Please do by all means, all possible means. Please do it and change it, because it means you are already by nature depicting a negative legacy. You don't say, well, this is our nature. It's our nature to be erratic. It is our nature to be very cantankerous. So if my children, if they take that, it's bad. And you can change it. Let's work for the positive. So please note that the nature of the man, the nature of the woman, the nature of the father, those ones that are negative, because they will always produce themselves in their children. Please work hard. You know yourself. Work hard to ensure that those negative traits which you have lived with, you hadn't the opportunity to change yourself, your parents, or the environment hadn't the opportunity to change you. Please do everything to ensure that your children they don't live with that. You can do it if you want to bequeath a positive legacy. Now, let me also tell us that our children, because I'm looking at the children now, who are going to drive this positive legacy. Remember, assuming you have prepared your children you should be conscious of the nature. And being your nature means your genetic transmission. I have told you on the children, you have to work on it. If, for example, you have some negative traits. Number two, you should also know that the environment is also waiting for your children. You don't control their children 100%. It doesn't work. You send them to school. They will play with their peers. They will get integrated into the wider society, the environment. We're talking about the environment. And you may not be able to control the environment. You can only control the environment within your house. Assuming your children came back from school and you want to control the type of movie they watch, you can do that. But when they leave the house, you won't control what they watch out there. So you will still have to monitor them and try to let them know what is good in the environment and what is bad in the environment. Nature means what you work, what they got from you, how you work to get these things improved, genetic transmission, how to improve it on your children. And then number two, what type of society do you expose them? What type of society do you expose them? Another very funny thing is that society itself, the environment, what type of environment do you expose them? The environment begins from home. Environment where the mother and the father disagrees openly, you're already creating a big problem for the children. Let me tell you what the problem you are creating. One, the children then that sometimes hot disagreement between father and mother is good. Then, or sometimes that's number one. Number two, where they observe fierce disagreement, fracas between the father and the mother. They will let pitch their tent with the father or pitch their tent with the mother. And the implication is that if they pitch their tent with the mother, they hate the father. If they pitch their tent with the father, they hate the mother. And remember I said, nature has made in such a way that you require the father and the mother to bequeath a positive legacy. So a situation where at this time it is only the father they trust, the children trust, because the father has given them the impression that the mother is nonsense, the mother has no sense, the mother is useless, and they are convinced. There is only the masculine disposition that will come from you. The feminine disposition, they will not value, they won't even get to the mother. The same thing applies, vice versa. If the mother, and in fact this one is actually the most rampant, the mother is able to buy over the children, and the children, their mother, and hate their father, because the mother has given them the impression that the father is evil, or the father doesn't mean good for them. Then you can be sure that they will trust and they will follow the mother and hate the father. And remember that as a mother, you cannot be a mother and be a father at the same time. It's not possible. And as a father, you cannot be a father and be a mother at the same time. It's not possible. In fact, if somewhere at some point you find one of the spouses dies, it's even easier for the other remaining spouse to try and adjust, and the children will always remember the deceased. So if he was around, as his father, if our father was around, he would do this for us, he would do this, he would teach us some of the things, legacy they had got from the father, they can manage it. But a situation where both of them are alive and one is hated, that one is a more dangerous situation. It means, for example, I give you, for example, a woman. It means that if the father is hated by both the mother and the children, that's the wife hates the husband, and the children are following the mother, there is nothing that the man would tell the children which they would take serious. they will not take anything seriously from it. And by so they have denied themselves the opportunities of acting from their father. This one is a very, very dangerous situation. And so please, mothers there, listen. Don't try to become a mother and a father at the same time. It's dangerous. Fathers who are listening to me, don't try to be a father and a mother at the same time. It's dangerous. How do you become father and mother at the same time? How do you become mother and father at the same time? By poisoning the minds of the children, letting them believe that the father is a demon. The father hates them. The father doesn't mean well. The father is not the best of fathers. Don't do that. It will be difficult for you to combine fatherhood or motherhood. It's difficult. If you want to destroy your marriage, if you want to destroy relationship, destroy it secretly if it must. Don't allow your children to observe it. You are destroying the next generation. If your marriage is destroyed as husband and wife, it is your generation that is destroyed. But if you carry it on to your children, you have destroyed the next generation. Why must you be that wicked? Why must you be that wicked? Destroying your generation and destroying the generation to come. Why such wickedness? So, gentlemen and ladies, I will strongly request us, if you have problems in your marriage, try and let those problems remain between you and your spouse. Don't, which is very difficult. But since you have decided to create problems for yourself, please go an extra mile to extricate your children from those marital problems. Otherwise, you are going to destroy the next generation. Is it where the mother challenges the authority of the man on the children, or even on the children? The mother is challenging the authority of the man on the children, on even on herself as the wife. It's a very dangerous position. The father is usurping the roles of the mother. Father usurping the roles of the mother before the children. It's a very dangerous situation. You can't pass on a positive legacy. Remember, we are talking about children. Children will determine the next generation and the generations to come. Not just next generation. The generations to come. Once children have lost confidence on the father or on the mother in a marital relationship, you can never bequeath a positive legacy. You can never bequeath a positive legacy. Then I'm going to summarize. There are two things I would say to summarize this presentation. This one. Number one is the stratification of children. I'm going to stratify the age brackets of children to enable you know that each stratification has its own peculiarities. Number one, children 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years, they're always very subservient. They follow everything. If you tell them to put their hands in the anyway, in fact, those who are, they are very subservient. They follow yes sir, yes ma'am, and they will be crying even when you are subjecting them to hardship, and they follow your hardship. I don't want to consider from 0 to 5 because they are most times they are 100%, at the loins of the mother. But 5 to 10, they are usually very vulnerable, and they don't know which is which. So whatever you tell them, you can get them into first level, you can get them into street trading, and you can get them into, that's where you have all this child abuse and so on. They are most rampant between 5 to 10 years because they are subservient then. 11 to 14, that is where real parental legacy, parenthood must be taken very carefully. From 11 to 14, they are exploring the environment. I said 5 to 10, subservient. 11 to 14, exploring the environment. They are full at this time. They are excited. They want to get into whenever they find anything working in the environment, they want to go and know what is going on, how it's happening. That is where you find so many things. That is where they really get into the environment. When they try, that's where they play a lot out there with their peers. When they are out there, you may not know what they get. They get so much from the environment within that 11 to 14. 15 to 20, they are already just claiming mastery and fantasies. Claiming mastery and fantasies. From 15 to 20, that's when they will be a magician. They will be a medical doctor. They will be president of Nigeria. They will be governor. And they need to work towards it. They think they can be everything. Sometimes they think they can be everything at the same time. Everything about their future, they see the future. I'm going to make it. I will be this. That is 15 to 20. Fantasies. They think that the world is just full of hopes everywhere. Those who are going to schools, that they might even abandon school and say, look, I want to go and make good money. In the next 15 years, I'll become general this. In the next 5 years, I will have made it. Let's be very careful with that. And incidentally, they get into it a wrong way. The way they think it is the best. It's usually between 15 to 20, claiming mastery. They are in charge. They feel they understand everything. So between 21 and 30, that is where the reality of life is already getting at their face. Between 21 and 30, I call it chatting for reality. That's why I call it chatting for reality. That is where they begin to talk about marriage. They begin to talk about children. They begin to talk about how to build a house. They have to begin to talk about how to now, what business, how is this business, this thing I've started, how am I going to sustain it? It is 21 to 30. That is where they now begin to see the real life, no more the fantasies they were seeing in the previous bracket. Then that is where 21 to 30, that is where parenthood or parenting legacy will usually, I will take it to the limit. Because from 31 to 50, they themselves at this time, they are battling with realities of life. That's what I call it. Battling with realities of life. They are a master of their own. When their parents themselves, you don't hold grip on them to a large extent. Though depending on what you have done the previous year, they will only consult you. They can only consult you. They might decide not to even get to you. From 31 to 50. From 60 to 65, they are thinking about the future reality of their children. Future reality of their children. They are now, even your life, you are no more, they give you as an old man and then give their children what will make them become better. In fact, even within that time, they will between 50 and 65, if your parents are still alive, they begin to talk about how to give their parents a fitting burial. That is where they begin to plan their burial. They begin to plan how great it will be to celebrate you. How great they will celebrate, they will invite the whole world because you have been a very, very good father. You have been a very, very good mother. And they come home and they make you happy. And all those things, all of them are just to sustain you and until when they are well ready. When they are ready. And of course, 65 to 75, you are regretting too many lost opportunities. Too many lost opportunities. 65 to 75. And then lastly, I want to read two portions of the scriptures to wrap up the emphasis I had started with on economic value. Let us, please, if you are not a Christian, just permit me and then to read this and just follow it. It's a guide for life and it will help you. Number one is 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. The Bible says there, that's Paul speaking, for even when we were with you, this we commanded you. If any will not walk, neither let him eat. If any will not walk, neither let him eat. All these miracle seekers who want to change their economic value by prayers, by miracles. I wish they could read this. God says you go and walk. Go and walk. That's the greatest miracle you can have for yourself. Go and find something to do. Don't go and wait for government to give you work, because they will not give you. They don't even have it. The Bible says you should walk. And if you are not going to walk, then prepare not to eat. Imagine a situation where everybody, there's dignity of labor. Everybody works. Why wouldn't there be prosperity? So 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. Please note it. If you're not a Christian, write down that passage and get to a Christian who will open the Bible and help you get you back on track with that passage. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. And the second Bible passage I'm going to read is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. I read 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. Anyone, he's referring to parents, or he's referring to parents here. Anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially, note that, especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than a non-believer. If you cannot provide for your neighbors, for relatives, you're not alone. You're not alone in the world. You have a lot of people who you should provide for. And he said, most importantly, especially your nuclear family, your family, as a man, your wife, your children. Because the context of this was actually a man of polarity. As a man, if you cannot provide, then consider the position, the placement of God for the where God places the unbeliever. That is where you are placed. That's where you belong. You are worse than, in fact, you are worse than them. Can you see the language of the seriousness of economic value? So please, if you are a human being, if you are a Christian, or if you are belong to any religion, even if you don't belong to religion, economic value is very important. Cannot be overemphasized. So I've looked at two values that must change in our environment. Within your trend, which you must change. One is moral value, I've defined. Number two is economic value. And once you are able to bequeath these two values, moral value and economic value, on your children, you can be sure that the next generation will be a better generation for the ones who will see it. With this, I thank you so much, and I will request you to try and visit African Summit website. It's summitafric.org. Summitafric.org. Summit, and then Afric is AFROIC. AFROIC.org. O-R-G. Summitafric.org. If you visit that, your website, you'll have quite a lot from what we are doing to recreate production among the African youths in order to stop the dependence on exotic goods, because we believe that if people go into healthy production with good mindset, our environment will become better and will have a positive legacy for the next generation. Once again, thank you so much for listening to me. Wish you the best. Vivian, thank you for the opportunity. God bless you. Vivian, are you there? Hello?
Thank you so much, sir. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah, I can. I'm happy.
Oh my goodness, this is a whole
I can hear you clearly.
class. Thank you
Thank you.
much. You have a question, sir.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
You have a question here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Can you hear me? Okay. Someone said
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Someone said a situation where the father is alive and healthy, but don't create time for the children. What do you do?
Yeah, you see, that's why I've always emphasized that is another problem we have. You see, the person asking me the question, I know what he's already expecting me to say, but I will not say that. He wants me to say that the father should try and create time, because that's the answer that ordinarily you expect me to say. But I'm going to go about it two different ways so that you know what goes on. Remember, okay. I have said nature, one, environment, two, environment, I mean culture. Nature and culture have assigned roles to fathers and mothers. And in Africa, for example, we expect the father to be the breadwinner. It doesn't work that way always, but that is what we expect. Even in the Bible, that's what it is. You see, all of us can never be the same. Please, let us stop thinking that you must be me, I must be you. That is why parenting requires a mother, requires a father. If the mother and the father, they are working, Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, sorry, the network went off. What I said is that I'm going to answer this question in two different ways, dimensions. One, if the father's absence is one for the interest of the family, and it is in agreement with the wife, then the wife should cover the man. The wife should be able to convince the children what the father is doing. There are people who are strugglers. That is, they are just born to that. We must understand that people have gifts. There are people, they just touch one thing, they're already making millions. And there are some people, before they feed their family, they will have to work out their strength. Assuming the mother is not doing anything, and the father is a struggling type. Once the father and the mother agree, and incidentally, if the nature of the work of the father is such that there is no breathing space for even the children. Now, remember, let me say that it is ideal and best for the father to give the children good time. Please, let me emphasize that. It's also good for the mother to give the children good time. But let me also know that more importantly, the mother should be able to cover the father, and the father should be able to cover the man. The father should be able to cover the mother. And if the father's absence is for the interest of the family. There are few persons like that. Please, for God's sake, the mother shouldn't, because she attended one program or the other, and they have told her that the father must do the father must. Please, let's stop this nonsense. It doesn't work. You should know that you are the two of you, the love for two of you. If the love is strong, and this person, the mother, for example, is impacting so much to hold the. In fact, there is a ministry by my friend's wife, Pastor Onyibo Obuochi. The man used to do. The wife started what he called, homemakers fellowship. And he was emphasizing women to show how women are homemakers, and she was doing a very wonderful job among women. So please, the woman, you shouldn't demonize. Don't demonize your husband before your children. What you could do in such a situation is, since two of you are still happily married, get close to the mother, to the father. Try and see how the nature of his job and how he could squeeze out time. Make suggestions to him, because the children require his time as well. It's not just the man, the woman. They require. That is why I say fatherhood and motherhood are important. But you cannot demonize your husband before the children. Get close to the man and advise him alongside what he is doing to sustain you economically. Remember, people have said that poverty is the worst thing that can happen to any person. Poverty is in fact it's a demon. People who are poor, they enter all prayer houses, all prophets, all demonic houses. Satan, they do everything. Poverty is not a good thing. So if the man is battling to position the family, yes, the man should also know that the children need his presence.
Yeah.
And somebody, he's a human being, he can forget. He's a woman, he can forget. That is why I said the woman should also get close to him and advise him. And since the marriage is getting on fire, there's no reason why he won't listen. The woman will look at his nature of the man and say, okay, let's go about it this way so that this other side shouldn't suffer. We wouldn't have everything to be happy. We don't have everything to be happy. It's all the man and the woman, they discuss it. So, but I want to discourage that situation. Because most times it's always where we have attended one marriage seminar or the other, and they tell you like, oh, the man comes back 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. when the children are asleep, and he leaves 4 a.m. So they will call him a taxi driver. Then now call him taxi driver. They don't know it's his father. Please. And they use some of these examples to demonize the father. They use some of these examples to spoil the mind of it is the wife that you know what the man is doing, and get closer to the man and advise him. Why not this other side, curtail this side, increase this side, so that you still have the woman. It's not just the children. The woman herself needs the man.
Yeah.
She didn't marry the man's money. She didn't marry the man's work. She married the man himself.
Yeah.
So she needs the man. The children need the man. So these things, but as I said, it is two of them that should look inward and be able to find a middle course. Two of them. Don't bring counselors and whatever. There are too many self-styled people now who are parading themselves and causing confusion and breakages of marriage and so on and so forth. That's my response. But if you think it's not satisfactory, get back to me. Thank you. Any other?
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you.
Someone said you should share your details. Yes. He wants to say your details. He said, share details. I want you to explain some of these things more for me. I need your topic to get my family standing again.
Well, you can just post my phone number. I think it's enough. Okay. Or if you visit our summitafrica.org, there are too many places you can visit online to get me. So much. If you visit summitafrica.org or visit academicexcellensesociety.com, even if you put my name, just put it on Google search, you see everything. Just put,
We'll,
whether you put Reverend Ezichi A. Ituma or book of, just put Ezichi A. Ituma in Google search. You see the book of Bequeathing.
okay. You're frozen. You're frozen. Our network is something else today. Oh my God. Okay.
Sorry, it's network. So, yeah,
Yes,
thank
yes,
you.
yes.
But you can always
Thank.
advertise my phone number anyway.
Okay, we will share that
006
details.
346 5010.
All right, we'll share the details also. Too many people raving you, Prof. Too many
Okay,
people
thank you.
raving you in the comment section. So many, some
Okay,
are
all right.
saying this. Someone said this topic is too interesting and too elaborate. Prof did so much in it. My mindset has changed already about economy.
Tell him to visit
My,
our summitafric.org. You will see so much.
some other person said, "Oh my God, my husband needs to listen to this." Okay.
Thank you.
So many
Thank
people are
you.
raving you from the YouTube channel. So many people are raving you. And
Thank
someone
you.
also, yeah, someone said, I'm heading straight to that site. Okay.
It's all
That's
right. Thank
okay.
you.
Thank you very
Uh,
much, Prof. This is a whole master
okay.
class. You brought
It's
down
all right.
fire from
Thank you.
heaven.
It's
You brought
okay.
down
It's
fire
okay.
from heaven. I told them that
Okay.
this is my own Prof. This is my mentor, my supervisor. For the record, I've shared all about you before the session. And I knew you were going to bring this fire. Thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
this for us and with us. We
Thank
are
you.
grateful.
Thank
We
you.
will call you again and again to come and bring down this fire so that our mindset will change, like someone said in the comment section. Someone said my
Thank you so
mindset
much.
have changed already.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Oh,
It's all. I wish you the
all right.
best and wish every viewer the best. I'm happy. I will look forward to hearing from you, and I can
All
assure
right.
you, in subsequent programs we will interact better.
All right.
Thank
God
you
bless
and
you very
goodbye for now.
Thank you, sir. All right, viewers. This is hot, dripping hot, 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 hot. This is Rema. This is Rema. If you're in this session, tell me in the comment section how you feel. This is dripping hot from heaven. Oh my God. Go and share this video. Share it, people. Share it to everywhere. Everybody in your circle should hear this. This is one of the problems we have and why we may not be able to bequeath positive legacy to the next generation. A lot of chaos in the families, a lot of disagreement between couples, a lot of disagreement between children and parents because parents are not taking their position to be able to influence their children. You are the best influencer. And I tell parents all the time that influence can only come with impact. You cannot influence anybody who you are not able to impact. And you can only impact where you are influencing the person. No child will come to you or no child will believe in you or trust you except you have gone that extra mile to impact that child. But if it is what we do through forceful control, I know that everyone listening to me is a parent that or is someone who is not a child, right now, a little child, a young child right now. We're all adults. And we were raised to believe or to know forceful control as authority. But I say no to it. No, forceful control can never give you authority over your children. What gives you authority over your children is trust. Trust. If a child does not trust you, forget about it. You're wasting your time. If your child sees you and behaves well or comports himself but behind you he does the opposite, you have lost the trust. You have lost authority, rather. You have lost authority. So authority comes with trust, and trust is earned. Remember, trust is earned. Authority comes with respect. If you're not that parent who respects your children, don't don't ever believe, or don't ever think that your children will learn to respect you and respect others. They can only comply. I call it forceful compliance. They can only comply before you and go behind you and do the opposite. And that's why you see sometimes when our children go do some kind of mistakes and parents get to hear it, they will say, not me, it's not me, my child did not do this, my child did not do that. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Your child did it, but because your child is marked in the family, you don't know the real child you're raising, because you are insisting that forceful control is the order of the day. No family thrives with hard rules. No family thrives with hard rules. So if you are still in that place where you think you can use force and control, be careful. You may be raising hypocrites. You may be raising resentful children, children who will be revengeful later in life, children who will be resentful later in life. Be very careful. Come in here, learn to unlearn and relearn all that you have known. Parenting is a learned skill. In the words of Wendy Ologe, parenting is a learned skill. Please come and learn. Share this video. Learn. Tell people that in your circle to come and get this knowledge that God has, through the Proactive Parenting Academy, given out in the past 6 days. It's been an awesome expository learning experience for every one of us, including myself. My notebook is here, my biro, my pen is here. I keep writing as our speakers are teaching. No one person is a custodian of knowledge, and no one person will say, I have known it all. You keep learning. My daddy will say, as long as you're alive, you keep learning. Learning is an ongoing process in everyone's life who is ready to learn. But the problem we have in this part of the world is that we are so much engulfed with learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is a psychological issue where someone gets to a point and just feel he can't learn. You know there's a problem. You know there's something you need to address. You know there's a knowledge you need to get to be able to, work holistically in the area you want to work on. But you just tell yourself, no, I can't learn, I can't do this, I can't do that. That's learned helplessness. It's a very serious issue. It's a very, very serious issue. It's part of the things we are already handing over to our children, and our children keep saying, I don't know how to, I can't do this, I can't do that. I don't allow people say such things beside me, because there's nothing that you cannot do if you dispose your mind to do it, including the scripture says, I can do all things. I can do all things. I tell my children, don't use that word, I cannot. You can. I tell my children to say things like, can you help me do this? Can you help me teach me this? Can you help me teach me that? I have not learned it. That does not mean that you cannot do it. Dispose your mind first, dispose your mindset, and you can. So we use the word I can in my home. I can do all things. So guys, no conference gives you the breakdown of all you need to do and the process you need to go into if you want to commit to being an intentional parent, especially a proactive one. We have, if you look at the screen, we have a program that helps you do all of these things, break down this process annually as you journey with your children. It is called Build Your Home Tribe. Build Your Home Tribe is an accountability program that runs annually in the Proactive Parents Academy for parents. It is a program where parents are put into, an accountability session where we break all of these things down, how to relate to our children, the disciplinary measures, what that is peculiar to your own children, because we are not on the same pedestal in this journey of parenting. So chat us on the number in your screen to be able to be part of Build Your Home Tribe. Chat us in this number so we can share details with you on how to become member and part of Build Your Home Tribe. Build Your Home Tribe is going to blow your mind with all the things that will come with Build Your Home Tribe to be able to help you commit in your process as an intentional parent who is also proactive about your journey. So thank you everyone for being here. We'll end this session now, and then we'll look forward for the last two sessions in the evening, 6 p.m. and 7:15 p.m. respectively. Yours humbly will be closing and wrapping it up at 7:15 p.m. Please don't be told. Be here in the last two sessions to get the final rema that is coming from heaven. God is truly transforming parents through this program in the past 6 days, and he will complete it in the last two sessions. Please be here, invite everyone in your circle, and let's roll in the last two sessions that will come up in the evening. Don't be told, make sure you're here. Thank you very much for being here in this session. God bless you. See you in the evening.